Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to Alpha to Omega 2. So today's just kind of a weird little update video. I'm going to take you guys to a combat site, right now, I wanted to show something that was kind of interesting. I've been working with this idea, really the premise, if you will, more, of a tanking, this has knocked me, a tanking venture. And what's kind of interesting is I've actually kind of made it work. Um, the reason I say it's kind of working is because while this is not fully upgraded yet, this thing here is sporting two minor twos, a small shield extender and a heavy shield extender, and then it'll eventually have a mining laser 2 upgrade. And the only way I was able to get this to work was by getting one of these processor overclocking units, so that I could have all this plus a survey scanner plus some, like some just other generic stuff. But why did I bring you guys back for this? Well, I brought you back in because I wanted to ask a few questions. I wanted to ask you guys, what is it you want to see me try and do? We've got the Hurricane. We can do a lot with it. I've been testing its fit within combat sites, and they work. Mind you, it's not fast, but we could do some videos over that if you guys want to see that. I could just kind of treat this more as like a vlog type thing, and just while I'm out here mining and just kind of chilling, because, like, I'll be honest, I'm just literally sitting here listening to music, kind of floating around and monitoring gauges. By the way, this thing has 1,496 shields. So you can see this whole time I've been in a .6 Kernite sector, and, like, yeah, we're taking damage, but, like, it's nothing to, like, really be scared of, because we're not really getting hurt that much. I missed the adaptive and vulnerability field, but I had to have these minor twos because, like, feasibility of this, okay, one thing I've always said is that mining you could get to Plex. It would take a lot longer than combat. And then if I've said that, then why am I out here mining, instead of running combat sites? Well, because I'm also doing manufacturing jobs. I've picked up some blueprints, and I've been having fun messing around with those blueprints. So we've got, like, mammoths, my own missiles for the Hurricane, our bullets, and, a small tractor beam. I actually picked up because Pips and I were having a discussion on whether or not you could actually get to Plex with manufacturing, and I thought it was possible, and he kind of thought it was possible too, and so we started looking at what was the most profit to yield, and the small tractor beam kind of seemed like it was the most profitable. But look at the amounts you needed, though. This is the part that's scary. You would need a corporation's worth of mining to do it, but it's doable. So if you combined mining with manufacturing, you can very easily get Plex, because, like, the total amount of value on this is basically 2.1 billion. Now obviously that's assuming that you're going to be able to sell all 1,704 of these. You're not. You're just not. There's no feasible way you're actually going to sell that many. But it would be a good way to make a little bit of cash on the side, right? And that's kind of why I still picked it up, is because even if I sold 100 of those, hang on, where's that tab again? So, like, even if I sold 100 of these, right? 100 of them is worth 122 million ISK. Like, that's pretty good return on value, considering I can get everything except for Zydrine and Megasite. Because right now, the reason I'm out here getting this Isogen is because I believe, don't quote me on this, yeah, Kernite, Isogen. And I only need to get, 250,000 isogen. And looking at my spreadsheet, which you guys won't be able to see because I don't have it captured properly. Looking at Kernite, I get 73 isogen per 100 Kernite. So per 100 Kernite, we get 73 isogen, and we need 25,000, 250,000. So 280,000. 3. Divide that by, how much do we say we get? 73. You only need 38,000 pieces of Kernite. I mean, I've got 2,000 right here. And that covers the isogen to make this many. Granted, it does take time, obviously. I mean, 17 hours right here, and you can lower that by getting more industry. So one thing we were debating on is, while I was trying to get him to come back so that I'd have another voice here for you guys to hear, and he was like, no, something's always irked me about Eve. And it's like, okay, well, that's fine, mate. I don't want to force anybody to come back that doesn't want to come back. But we were thinking about having a tune that was specifically designed for for industry manufacturing, right? And then having another tune that's designed for going out and getting those materials. Like have a mining tune, have a crafting tune, and like all these things make sense. Like if you were on an Omega account, you could very easily make this in very little time, just because you could have a ship that actually can mine way more than what this mines. But that kind of comes back to the thing, like, what do you guys want to see? I'm more than happy to do really kind of anything, because we've got, right now we've got 12 Plex. I could go buy another Plex if I wanted to, because they're running at 3.1 million right now. So we could technically have 13 Plex. Or, like if you guys want to see something that's kind of expensive, like we can sell these. It's worth 34 million right now. It's not a whole lot, but we can make it work, but and that's kind of why I brought you guys in, was to ask that, what do you guys want to see out of this series? Because we've proven that you can do it just running combat sites. We've proven that you could in theory do it with industry. We've shown these different things that that's why I've always said I love Eve, is because no matter what way you want to play, you can make it work. Like, if you want to be a guy that just manufactures stuff, you can do that. Granted, you need somebody that's willing to invest in you to be able to, get started. But you can do that, and you can make a living off of it. Obviously, you have to look at your return on investments to blueprint cost, to material cost, etc., 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 which very few things that you will make have a good return on investment. But as long as you're very diligent about that, you could do it. Like, for instance, I was just looking at just some of the profits available off of, like, if you bought all your resources. If you bought all your resources for making fusion M's, and you bought the blueprint, okay, which the blueprint costed, give me a second, gotta find the right sheet. How much did the blueprint cost? For fusion M's, which is this tab here, the blueprint cost 10,000 ISK. That's not much. You can make that, I mean, hell, I'm sitting on 656,000 ISK worth of Kernite. You could easily make 10,000, okay? And if you bought the blueprint, which was 10,000 ISK, and you made one run of Fusion M, okay, the profit yield on that is a little over 5,000 ISK. So the material cost is 2.4 thousand ISK. So if you sold all your stuff at JITA for the current running market value, you would make 5,000 per 100 shots of Fusion M. That's a total profit of 2.5 thousand ISK that you're making off of basically nothing. Now, granted, that's minute change, okay? That's menial, to say even the most. You know, that's, you don't want to do that. You know, you really don't want to run that, because what you're going to end up doing is you're making pennies and spending hours. Because I know the Scourge Missile Heavy, that runs the same. Okay, for me to do 110 runs of it, okay, which is worth a fair bit. You know, it's worth. It's worth 639,000 ISK, right? I'm investing 12 and basically 13 hours to make that. Okay? So that's 13 hours that you're waiting on an industry job. Now, again, with making an industry tune, that actually makes a lot of sense. It's really doable. But again, that's where you would kind of get started and then eventually move up to making bigger and better things. Like, I told you guys I was making mammoths. Buying all the stuff for a mammoth would cost you 926,000 ISK. With a return on investment of 324,000 ISK, meaning that you're going to get that amount of money every time you sell one if you sell it at perfect market value. Which you're never going to always sell things at perfect market value. That's kind of the problem with industry, is because it's a player-driven market. If anyone else gets in on that exact same market as you, your perfect market value is gone. And considering this is a game of like 100,000 players or something more, I can't remember what the actual numbers are. There's a lot of players since it went free to play. Probably a lot of them are just alts, but still. You know, if even one of those, like, let's say for instance, if I was trying to corner the market on making mammoths, right? If even one of them got into the market of making mammoths, my value on mammoths is going to drop. It's guaranteed to drop. So that's kind of where we stand. Is just, I'm not really sure where to go with this. I'm having fun mining. I'm having fun being back to EVE. I've been having fun running the combat sites, and that's probably what the next video that will go up is some combat sites in the Hurricane. And the reason I say that is because I'm on my way to get something, which I'm going to go ahead and turn the autopilot back on. I'm on my way to go get, what did we say we needed for Kernite? Like 38,000 to make 100? You know, like, I've got 4,000 in my hold right now. You know, it's not hard to get it. I mean, you get a free venture if you kind of follow the tutorial missions for a little bit. As long as you follow the tutorials, you get a free venture. So they give you a pretty darn good mining ship. Oh, that reminds me. So get this. You know, we were having the debate of, you know, how to do things with like ore and stuff like that. Me and Bibbs were, and we got to looking. Alphas can now fly other corporations' ships. It's a wee bit more expensive for them to do it, but they can. So, like, you've even got more flexibility now, because now you can fly things like the Badger, the Tayra. You know, you can go over here to where's the Galente? You can go over to the Galente and you can get a Neros, or you know, you can fly all these. The Iteron 5 that has one of the best cargo capacities when decked out. The Miasmos, the best ore hauling ship in the game, as far as I'm aware, other than obviously like capital industrial ships. You know, like when you get into these bigger ships, obviously they're like go on down here and you got your freighters. Obviously, those are going to be a little bit better than Miasmos, right? But those are meant for hauling more than just ore. You know, those are meant for hauling like actual cargo. But you can't get into those. But you can get into other ships' things. Meaning, if I wanted to now, I could go back and we could get the Thorax. Where is it? Thorax, right there. Remember that weird sniping build that we built for the Thorax? We could do that again on this account. I enjoyed that. But the reason I chose Minmatar is because I don't know their ships. Oops, Minmatar. See, I don't even know what their symbol looks like, you know? And that's kind of the reason why I went into, like, getting these ships. We can go all the way up to actual full battleships now, by the way. So you can actually get a Maelstrom or a Typhoon, you know? Like, these are not cheap ships. Like, I believe the running cost on a Tempest fleet issue, 355 million ISK. That's a lot of money for an alpha, but you could do it. Like, it's doable. And then once you have those, running combat sites would be just a joke. And when I say just a joke, I mean literally just a joke. Like, you wouldn't even have to consider... yeah, and see what that does. That frees up a bit more CPU. And that's the whole thing we came here to get, was to get this. And I happened to see a Kernite spawn, and I was like, oh, hey, cool, a Kernite spawn. And I figured I'd go get it. But that's kind of where this is at, is like, I don't know where to go right now. It's not that, like, we couldn't do things. We could do plenty of things. I just don't know what would be the best in viewership. So, either way, much hearts to everyone who leaves a like, much hearts to everyone who subscribes, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.